Hey, folks, you know who it is. Your favorite person's favorite person. Couldn't be happy to be here with you all. Obviously, Sam Pearson II here with another powerhouse guest who not only helps people lead from the inside out, but also understands what it takes to develop the proper mindset to be a strong leader. So wherever you are, please clap your hands, stomp your feet for Miss Jessica Myers.
Hi, how's it going?
Fantastic. How are you feeling, Jessica?
I am feeling amazing. It is so great to be here today.
Awesome. Thanks for being here with me. So we're gonna hop right into this as I mentioned to you. But first, before we hop into these great questions and conversations, I would love for you to just brag on yourself unapologetically for the next 30 seconds or so. If you just brag on you, no holds bars, go for it.
My name is Jessica Myers. I'm a real estate developer and entrepreneur, and I got my start in real estate as a wholesaler in 2015, starting all the way what is known as the internship of real estate. But I worked my way and I hustled my way to the top and went from wholesaler to hotel owner. Because one thing wholesaling taught me is how to identify and find opportunity to grow your portfolio. So I definitely found peace. I found a new part of me, and I developed so much of me in learning how to grow in real estate that now I'm so big on personal development and what it takes to get to the top through you being and mastering yourself and getting to greater heights.
Well, masking yourself and getting to greater heights. And you say that it's funny because obviously you're a real estate developer. So you've seen a lot of buildings in your day. And so I know that there's also a project that you're working on, some approvals that just happened. And
Oh,
can you, is that something that you can mention?
yes. So we're also building a resort in Exuma, Bahamas. And so today is a very exciting day. We got a huge development in the project. But like I mentioned, starting out as a wholesaler and getting into real estate, building and development. And now we're in hotel ownership. And even now we're building a resort. So it is very huge, very monumental, but it came from having the right mindset. It came from, like you said, it's a process. And real estate teaches process: discovery, design, development, and delivery. And those four principles is how I keep my mindset right and I keep my processes going in real estate and in my personal life.
Wow. So I'm definitely going to touch on those four if you wouldn't mind. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into those. So, as obviously professional development, but beyond that, including student leadership
Mhm.
and the importance of that development, would you mind, discussing the, discovery part, those four pieces that you mentioned us in? I think are really powerful. So, would you mind touching on those a little bit?
Yeah,
Like, what?
I mean, one of the things, like, when I started out as a serial entrepreneur, anything could have gotten my attention. Like, anybody had an idea, I'm there, let's go. But
Yeah.
one of the things that when I got started in real estate, it helped me to focus. It brought me in and it taught me a process because I'm out here scrambling, and I talked to a lot of my friends. They're like, we're just trying to do it. We're just trying to we hustling, we getting it. And I was like, hustling is fine and it gets you so far, but I learned enterprising gets you further. And enterprising is understanding a process to achieving a goal. And that's one of the things that I realized through development, but even how it applies to personal development, the discovery phase. What are we doing? Where are we going? It's like getting in a Lamborghini, gassed up, and just driving. Or what if I got in a Lamborghini with a roadmap and we got exactly to the destination that we desired to go? That is what the discovery phase offers you. The discovery of where are we looking to go? And then I'm always of the belief 10x your dreams and your visions. Why? Because during the discovery phase, you normally plan based on your current circumstances. You plan based on your current circumstances. But I'm of the gene that once you plan it, the vision and the revision, the provisions will come once you plan it. Now, once I set out to do a resort in Exuma, Bahamas, I never built a resort before. The hotels we bought were already existing. Like, we got the Hilton, the Staybridge, and the Hampton Inn. They were already up and running. I never built a resort before.
Yes.
How did I get in the fortitude? Well, in my discovery phase, I understood and defined that I wanted to close 100 doors. And when I wanted to close 100 doors, I didn't even have 10. And then I heard Grant Cardone say 10x your dream and your vision. Why? Because you are going to plan based on your current circumstance. Me with no home, I wanted to plan for 100 because I was like, cool, I can do 10 and then maybe I'll figure out the rest. But
Right.
then when I got into the commercial space, then I started to 10x my vision. I started to find out that we can get one hotel with 85 doors. We can get another hotel with 126 doors. So you can amplify your vision. So I was thinking too small. I'm thinking 100 doors based on what I felt I could achieve in my discovery phase. But then, like I said, I 10x my vision and everything amplified because of that. So in the discovery phase, you really want to define where you're going, amplify that by 10 because you're probably limiting yourself, and then go after it like no other.
I love amplifying your vision because it reminds you a lot of clubs and organizations are working on recruiting and how do they get people involved, how do they get people engaged, and so much of that is about amplifying their vision, their efforts, so people see them and want to be more attracted and are more attracted to what they're doing and what they're working on. Okay, so what was number two?
So then once you get your discovery phase lets you know where are we going, where is the roadmap, what's the end goal, right?
Yes.
Now we're in our design phase. What does that get to look like? What does that look like? Who are all the players on the team that need to come into place? Who has what I don't? Because that's what I'm huge on. A lot of people try to learn everything, right? Like if you try to go to Jamaica right now or Bahamas, let's say you tried to go to the Bahamas right now, would you stop and go study to get your pilot license? No. But that's what most people do when it comes to their dream or vision. When they want to get ready to move forward and to design it out, they're just like, okay, I need to go learn to do every aspect of it. Let me go study in school for 8 years. No, you pay Delta and you go right on to the Bahamas. I can go in 2 weeks because I have the expediency of someone who's experienced. And so in the design phase, that's when I bring together all of the elements, all of the people, all of the things. And this is where the path outlays that you're just like, I didn't even know I could even get 10 houses, let alone hundreds of doors. This is how this begins to outlay when you design it out. What does it get to look like? I discovered my route and where I'm going, but what does it get to look like? Who are the players on the team that get to show up and help me achieve this vision? And that's what we get to discover in the design phase. The design phase is laying it all out. What does the vision look like? And laying it out to then play it out in our development phase.
Wow. Any final thoughts about those 4 pieces that you put together?
Once we dip into the development phase, that's when we execute. That's when we take the time and we're bringing the team, we're assembling it, and we're getting together, and we're putting a pen to a date, and we are achieving it. And then in our deployment phase, that's when we look at the creative exit strategies. That's when we look at, are we really making money from this? That's when we look at our revenue generators. That's when we look at, we're in business to be in business. So part of the deployment department is making sure that, wait, what did I set out to do? What did I discover? Am I on par? Design, am I following where we set to go, or did we have to pivot? Are we accomplishing and achieving the same goals? And then once we go through, the development phase, that's when we're actually building it out. Who do I get to be? What is it that I'm looking to do? Because we've already, done that through the discovery, through the design, and then the development is where we actually execute. And we bring it to life in the deployment. Where's that money generator? Where is that business? And then how do we now execute and make it happen? And that's how literally I've broken down our real estate process. But personally, you break that process down, that's how you can achieve and accomplish more visions, more goals, so that you too can get to a point where you are satisfied or fulfilled with the life that you're leading.
Thank you. My last question regarding these 4 pieces, what would you say is the most difficult of the 4? Is there one that's more difficult than the other?
I mean, it's all a process within. So it's stretching you. I would say the discovery and design phase can be the most difficult. Because like they say, if you give me 4 hours to chop down a tree, I'll spend the first 3 sharpening my axe. So that design phase is the discovery and the design phase are the most critical, because they're before you execute. Because most times people just want to execute. Like, I just want to do something. I just want to do it. I don't want to think about it. But if you're not doing it with a vision or within a larger goal, it will be sporadic and solo, versus understanding that everything you do is compounding and building upon the other. Now, what do I mean by that? Like, when I went to college, I had a journalism degree, right? But now I'm in real estate. Like, what does that have to do with anything, right? But I have a TV show. I have a podcast. I'm an author. Those are things that actually I studied in school. So those are stackable skills that I was able to bring over, and like, that's not just something that I did, but what other things that I do are transferable skills that can help me right now. And understanding that and taking the time to really take a deep dive is really what's going to help me find that fulfillment. Because a lot of times when people go out to corporate America just to get a job, they're doing what they ask of them. But in entrepreneurship, you get to name yourself. You get to do all of the things and all of the elements that makes you you and what you want to do and put into your life's work. And that is why discovery and design are the most important and the most pivotal when getting started.
Wow. So as you've obviously led a number of groups, you've been a part of a lot of teams. What would you say for you has been, let's say, outside of mindset, that's been one of the most important, let's say, characteristics that have helped you rise? Again, there are a lot of, folks that are looking to have you speak and that want to hear your message. And I know there's some that you would say to them, or there's some that's been really helpful for you. What would you say one of those things is? It's like one of the most important factors or characteristics in your leadership, in your building what you've built so far?
I would say the importance of connecting with others, the connecting with team, and building a village. I've done nothing by myself. Every single team that I've had. So in that design phase, really outlaying who would be the best support in that execution of that project, execution of that dream or that vision, and having the village and the support around you. I am huge on connecting people because I believe in any room that you're in, you have everything that you need, any room that you step in. It could be a McDonald's, it could be a Starbucks, it could be an actual networking event, it could be InvestFest. Some people showed up to InvestFest. I walked around the room and connected them with other people in the room. And when I tell you this girl, she actually flew in from the Netherlands just to attend the InvestFest. And the way we worked the room, she was able to walk away with 3 investors. That is the power of connection. That is the power of networking. And my village has been huge in helping me to execute these large visions. I can't do any of it alone, but together we can accomplish so much more. And that's what I teach leaders, how to connect and how we can lead teams together as a group, because collaborative economics is the new currency. And that's what I teach and help leaders do. Connect so that they can build even greater.
Collaborative economics. I love that phrase. You should coin it if you haven't already. I love it, collaborative economics. And I also think what something is really important that needs to be shared more, and something really important for leaders, is how to work a room. And it's something you do magically, and you actually showed that in your social media, how you're working a room. A lot of folks can go to an event and not have any idea what they're doing there, because often it's like, hey, go be in the room, but there's no instruction on what to do once you're. So you probably saw a lot of people just kind of standing around, like the awkward club stands. Did you see any of that?
Oh yeah, and that's honestly, I look at it like Jenga puzzles sometimes. Now, if they're too awkward and they look like they're shy, I like to partner with confident people. So if they're too awkward, I don't know if I'll make that attempt. But the Lone Rangers, I do actually go over there and talk to them, because I want this to be something where, like sees like. Like if I'm bold enough to come to you and say something, bold enough in conversation, but then I always have my valid business reason. Not that it always has to lend to business with connections, but people want to get to the point faster of how can we really connect. And how can we really, they'll be more engaged and more inclined to talk to you if they see how they can make money with you. So you definitely want to, I had somebody, I was sitting in a room and they spent 10 minutes telling me about a bad food adventure that they had in Mexico. Now, while it was an engaging story, the fact that we were both in the room, we could have talked about, how much business we could have talked about in 10 minutes. Yes. So it's making sure that people stay focused, because while I remember his story about the Mexican bad food, I don't remember his number or name. But if he would have, definitely come with a more presence, more focus, more, that's why you want to sit with what am I really doing, so that when you're talking to others and connecting, you see how to connect and you see how you can do things together. And this is how we create collaborative economics, because we see the skill sets that I have, the skill sets that you have, and how we can empower each other. Prime example, I'm in real estate as a businesswoman, but I connect with my business partner who's been working in the hotel industry for 14 years. We talk and now we're hotel owners. Like that's how that connection gets made. My other business partner, he's been accredited investor, which I just learned what it meant a couple of years ago, but he's been an accredited investor for decades. But he meets me and now we're owning resorts and building resorts. My other business partner been building and developing houses. He meets me. We started building and developing for celebrities and stars. Now he's building a 38,000 square foot single modern build home, single residential,
accredited investor,
square foot.
Accredited investor. For those who are just watching this, would you mind, as if I was in first grade, how would you describe or define accredited investor?
Accredited investor is someone that is an experienced investor, and they qualify that in that you have at least $250,000 annual income, as well as $1 million in assets for your net worth. So you have to have both of those qualifications to be considered an experienced investor. Now, what does that mean? A lot of these companies, I know for me, when Facebook went public, I was kicking myself like, why did I invest in that? You know, but I found out on the backside that only accredited investors a lot of times can be in those deals before they are open to the public, or the IPO, which is when they're open to the public. So a lot of times, all those people that got to get in, they were private investors or venture capitalists. And so that's one of the things like, oh, I didn't even, because you wonder, like, how did they get into Facebook? Who told them about Uber?
Like, what website is that I could have? But the truth is, you could have or folks could have never gotten, even if they knew, they could have never gotten in.
Collaborative economics. See, that's why we created a hedge fund. So when I mentioned that when people hear like, oh, 250, I'm only at 50,000. Well, how many friends does it take to make 250? 5.
Wow.
If you got 5 friends who make 50,000, and then if you got $1 million worth of assets, well, do each of you 5 friends, do y'all have a house? Well, if your house is 250 and all 5 of our houses are 250, all 5 of us make 50,000, we can come together and create an LLC or a hedge fund or some form. So collectively,
come on now,
we now meet the standard. Now, individually, it may take us longer, but nobody said it was an individual sport.
You see, people should be paying for this right now. Matter of fact, after this is live, it's going to be up for like a week. I'm going to take it down. People have to pay to listen to what you just said.
Yeah.
That's super powerful.
Yeah.
A lot of folks feel like they have to do it by themselves, or how can they come up with this stuff when I'm guessing, the folks that people would consider the big dogs in the game have been doing this for years.
And they're all partnering, they're all merging. And that's the thing. It's just like getting a group of people that you trust, and you can come together, and our powers together are much more impactful than what we are apart. And that's why I spoke so much about networking in your village. I'm telling you, Jessica will be in the back studying for her pilot license if I didn't have the thought with everything that I do to pay Delta and let them do what they do. And I get on my plane and I get to where I'm going. I partner with my girl who is working in hotels, and you got the hospitality. I didn't even know, for one, Star Report, what a Star Report is. The report, that's what they get you. When you're working in the hospitality industry, you get a Star Report, and that gets you all the numbers. She's Star Report rated, like certified.
Really?
Like, that's what she does. She literally ran $1 billion asset portfolio, and she was and I'm like, who even knew this existed? You've been my girl. We've been going to lunch. I didn't even know you were Star Report. I didn't even know.
Right.
I don't need to know because you do. I don't need to go know how to fly a plane because he does. The pilot does. So that's the power of building a strong network, and that we can go together. I can bring, because I have a particular set of skills too. Because you can work 14 years, but you'll be working 15 until you meet me. So that's one of the things I have. Knowing and owning your lane and understanding how to cross-reference that with others is the power to get you closer to your vision and dream than anything ever could.
Wow, this is powerful. I think, when it comes to, again, you being a leadership developer, this speaks so well. It's so important to be a practitioner.
Yeah.
Because it's also like what I asked you, for me, it was certainly a difficult question because I don't know everything that you know, but beyond you knowing the answer is a way to explain it. And I think that as a speaker, so many people miss this part where, sure, you can say this quote or share this information, but when someone has that follow-up question, can you provide more light to them, more expertise for them that obviously qualifies you to be who you are in sharing this kind of information for student leaders? So a couple other things, and I'll get you out of here. Really thankful for you to be here. So for student leaders, or for those who are looking to build themselves, pun intended, what would you say, again, are 2 really important characteristics, or 2 things they should absolutely work on that will help them be a better leader?
One of the things, building as many relationships as you can right now. One of the people talk about how expensive college is, and do we really use it? Does it really make a difference? All of the people in your peripheral that you can look at and that you can see are going to be the very people that help you along the way. When you start talking about how do I accomplish this dream this big and this vision, everybody is so it feels like, you know, the act in the play where after you have the play, they have all the actors come out. That's
Yes.
what life gets to feel like now. Like everybody that I met at so many different phases of my life now get to come out and all play a part. For the girl that had the 14 years hospitality experience, we were roommates in college. For the guy who helped me do the development and he's doing 38,000 square foot now, he was a nephew of somebody I went to church with. For the guy, like everybody is through relationships. Everybody, while you down and the girl throwing up in the toilet and you holding her head back, when she's CEO in 10 years and 15 years, she's going to remember that. She's going to remember that moment. So collect as many networking opportunities and collaborations as possible. And you guys have a beautiful thing of social media to stay connected. We were collecting business cards. And we were and we were doing it a little differently, but now you get to collect all of those people and keep them with you in your journey, because I guarantee you everyone will play a huge role, a pivotal role. So be mindful of who you are to them and be sure to stay connected, because they're going to be the ones, you may not see it now. Now it's just Jenny and old girl. She just, you know, I don't know what y'all did last night. But in 10 years, I guarantee you that's going to be everybody who attributes to your wealth. So I would say definitely network. The second thing, explore parts of you never thought possible. This is a time as a student, as a leader, to get involved. I was in the choir. I worked in the computer lab. I was working in the recreational center. I was one of the supervisors. I was working on so many different aspects. And at first I thought it was funny because, you know, they used to have the parodies on, was it Saturday Night Live or Living Color, where you were like every part, you were the sheriff, like you were every part, right? So I was every part of the school. I'm in the library, in the digital aquarium, then I'm in the gym when you work out. I'm homecoming queen when you're on the social scene. So explore every part of you, because now that's what makes me so dynamic. Not just going to school and going home, but that's really what helps to compound and building those relationships. Because even when I ran for homecoming queen, I was like, oh my God, I don't know anybody. But wait, I knew the people in the gym who didn't even go out in the social circles. Because I was the sorority girl, I knew the people in the social circles. Because I worked at the digital aquarium, I knew the nerds who were locked away in the library all day. So when I came to run for homecoming queen, they were like, I sweeped, you know, I did a clean sweep. And they were like, we've never seen anything like it. Why? Because I had so many different relationships in so many different areas, but in so many ways that I evolved and expression and expressing myself in so many ways. So I say network, connect, and definitely diversify in what you do and your experiences on campus. And that's what will help make it a rich and fulfilling experience so that you become the best leader that you ever thought possible.
Wow, Jessica, we're going to have to do this again. Hopefully you're open to it. This is amazing. For those of you all, obviously, who are looking for a leadership speaker or someone to help your staff, your community, obviously your students build themselves from the ground up with a solid foundation, there's no one better to have that discussion with than Jessica Myers. So how can they find you, Jessica? What are some on social media and website? What are some best ways?
So I'm at ITS Jessica Myers, ITS Jessica Myers on LinkedIn, on social, on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm most active on Instagram. Even I'm on TikTok at It's Jessica Myers, but I'm most active on Instagram. But It's Jessica Myers, and then they can find me also on my website, itsjessicamyers.com.
They really cannot mess that up. It's Jessica Myers. It's jessicamyers.com. Also, very much appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. And what do you have cooking? Anything specific? I know at the hotel, anything outside of that you want to share?
So by my day job, I'm in real estate, and that's what I do. I'm a real estate developer, and I am working on building a resort in Exuma, Bahamas. Feel free to check us out, exumanoir.com, to stay updated on the project or how you can get involved. Also, I am working on my show. I got season 2 of Real Estate Mastery that is coming out, which teaches people real estate mastery principles and how you can apply them to your everyday life to grow your portfolio. As well as, you know, we're working on technology that helps to gamify and simplify the experience for others to get involved in real estate. Because I am so grateful that I've been able to accomplish what I have in the real estate industry, but it will be nothing if I can't help other people do the same. And so that's where we're building the tech. to allow other people to have the same level of access and demystify the investment process. So check us out at yourfigure8.com. And that's the number 8, yourfigure8.com. That is the number 8. So those are the things that we have going on. The resort is what I'm really proud of, what I get to do by day, but yourfigure8.com is what I get to do by night. And that's championing for others to be involved in real estate as well.
Yeah, thank you so very much again. And it's like the harder you work, the luckier you become, the smaller the world is, for sure. And certainly exemplifying that your network equals your net worth. Thanks again, Jessica. I know that we will talk again. Again, if you're looking for a speaker who is great and going to fill in everything you need from the ground up with a solid foundation, Jessica Myers is exactly that. Talk to you soon, Jessica. Have a great day. Appreciate
you. You got it. Let's get it. Let's go.
I love that.